Hey, how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, today I just want to have a little discussion, a little bit of a discussion, and it's about a new knife that we just started using for this year. One of the new ones in the bunch. Which one is it? The one I've been carrying to work for the last couple of days since I modified it. The Vision FG. The CIVIVI Vision FG. This one that had ivory handles, and I modified it by Rit dyeing the handles royal purple with Rit synthetic royal purple. That's the only mod that's had. Absolutely love it, but there's something I have to share with you guys about this one. The action on it, it works fine, perfect. You know, all that kind of stuff is perfectly fine. But I notice when I fidget with it, I often get bit right here. I don't know, are any of you other guys having that same issue? Because I think that's because the blade comes all the way to the tip, comes really close to the end of the handle. Because the handle is like, it's not any longer than it has to be. And so, that puts the tip really close to the pommel of the handle. And so when you hold it like this, and if you're holding like this and you're fidgeting with it, lots of times you will get bit. And this happened to me a lot of times. I keep trying to remember to reposition my hand like more over here instead of being, because this is a natural place for my hand to be with the knife when I'm fidgeting with it. It's like right in here. I don't know if you can see that. And I have one other knife that I used to have. Well, I still do have it. It's in my collection, but it's in the safe. And that used to always do that to me. And it's a real popular knife also that a lot of people really like. And it has the, what do they call it? The Able Lock. Is it the Hogue Able Lock? It's the Deca. I have the first version of Decas. And it's a really nice knife. I really liked it and I carried it. It used to always bite me right here in the same spot. And it's because the blade came all the way to almost to the end of the handle. And I don't know if it's because I got chunky hands or something like that, but when I'm holding it like this and I'm fidgeting back and forth, lots of times this blade will bite me, the tip of the blade. I just wanted to share that with y'all. Other than that, I love it. Oh, the only thing I don't like, the thing that I will be changing on this one is the pocket clip. I do not like this pocket clip. The pocket clip is a hot spot. And I don't know if this knife would be better off without a deep carry pocket clip, because it sort of feels like when you're holding it, well, it's not bothering me right now, but maybe it was because it was hitting my hand. It was sort of bothering me. But this part right here, I could feel it. This part of the pocket clip right here, the way it stands up like that. I don't know if you guys can see that. But it really stands up. It's like way higher than it needs to be. And I do not like this pocket clip. Not only that, I don't think it's the best looking pocket clip too, because it sort of looks like a cheap pocket clip to me. It doesn't look like a high-end pocket clip. I want the pocket clip to look more high-end, or to look, better. Maybe I looked at the Lynch pocket clips, but they have them for the Elementum, and it looks like they might fit this. I'm not sure if it will. But I'd like to put a Lynch pocket clip, because Lynch pocket clips are always really good. But sometimes, like when you get the pocket clips off of Etsy or different places, like eBay or something like that, they're real thin and they're not the retention on them is not that great. I've experienced that. But anyway, that's what I had to share with that. And the reason why I got these out is because I want to show you that one of the reasons why I like every knife that's on this table is because it's super safe. It's safe to fidget with. See how far away my hand is? See how far away the blade tip is when I fidget with it? It's not, there's no way in the world it's gonna, I've never been bit by this. So I love it. Absolutely love it. You're not gonna get bit. It's safe. I like knives that are not only, fun to use and everything, but I also like knives that are safe, that don't hurt me when I use them. I love the MSIs and the amphibians. These are safe too. Even if the lock was to give out, it's safe. That's one thing I always tell everybody to check out. All these knives are like that. Every knife that I have, that's one of my requirements. Otherwise, I won't like it. I remember I had somebody ask me, how come I haven't gotten the iridium? It doesn't look safe to me. It looks like if the blade was to fold in on your finger, like if you just did that right there, you would get cut. And if that's the case, then I don't like it. Recon. You know, all the cold steels are like this. That's why Andrew Demko used to always make his knives safe. So they can be folded in with one hand safely. Safe. Tower. It's my other favorite knife to carry. I don't have this one out. It's not in my rotation drawer, but it's in my other rotation drawer with my motorcycle knives. I got the large side tower and my XL tower in that drawer, and all my XL folders. So whenever I carry the tower, this would be my front right pocket, and this would be inside my leather vest. These are my city knives. They've been completely polished. And the inside of the G10 is polished too. The washers are polished. The blade, everything's been polished. If any of you have ever had these holdouts, you know they don't normally work like that. I'm just showing you what happens when you polish everything. Same thing with this one. Been completely polished. These are knives, people, that I've had for, and the same thing with this one. Completely polished. This is a knife that I carry when I'm on the motorcycle and I'm wearing like a leather jacket. This will go in my front right pocket, my leather jacket. It doesn't have any pocket clips on it. That's what I like for motorcycle knives. I mean, leather jacket knives. And I'd carry this one in my front right pocket. It's got all the snaggletooth stuff on it. All custom polished by myself. The same thing with this one. You know, this is a jacket pocket knife. This is a front right pocket knife. But all these knives, people, they got to be safe. If you can't do this with your knife and it doesn't, because it cuts you, that knife is not safe. That's a knife that if your lock gives out, you will get cut. But see how this is far away? So it's a safe knife to use. Your fingers are in a safe place. All your entire palm is in a safe place. This is a safe knife to fidget with. I'm a fidgeter. I like to fidget. I like to open and close my knives and goop off and manipulate my knives. Just something I like to do. And over the years, I learned which ones are the best at doing that. All these knives right here are the best at doing that. These are the newest ones. This one has been opened and closed 1 billion times by now. And it's solid. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's gotten better. The blade just floats. And that's the one that has the skip bearings in it. This one will have skip bearings in it too. They're on their way. I love my 8020S models. This is another great knife. And they got the new one out. They got the new one out with a, was it S1? It's a 110, I think. It's a CPM one. Is it a CPM crucible steel? I can't remember. It's the 110. So it's a real good edge holding stainless steel, but it's not the strongest stainless steel. It's not it doesn't have the toughness as much as like a S30V. So that's one thing that S30V still has over the was it S110? Is it S110? S110V? I think that might be what it's called, S110V. I'm sorry, people, I forgot. But I absolutely love this knife. This is a safe knife. If the lock was to give out, look at it. This is super safe. It feels good, actually, when it folds in on your hand. That's a comfortable feeling right there. So to me, this is a safe knife. And what I mean by safe is that when you're holding it like you should be, I'm not talking about like when you're holding it way back here where you're not supposed to be and the knife was folded in, then you're going to get cut on any knife, you know what I mean? But if you're holding it like you're like in the grip that you should be, and you were to bump it or something like that, and the blade was pop, you know, the lock was to give out or whatever or fail, would it come in and cut you? That's how I got cut. I got cut on a fishing trip and accidentally hit the railing of the boat after drinking too many beers and stuff, filleting fish, you know, making cut bait. And I had a Benchmade AFCK. It was when they had the titanium liner locks. I forget what model it was. It was like an 800 or something like that. I can't remember what the model number was. But it cut me up bad, people, when that liner lock failed. And the liner lock was already getting weak, and I knew that because they had like blade play in it. Because it was a knife I had for a long time, and I used to carry it every day. But you know, I should have replaced it. But I just really liked the knife, so I kept it. I used to always use it. But anyway, it cut me up. The lock eventually gave out. That's the reason why I do not like titanium liner locks, titanium frame locks, unless it has a steel insert in it. But you know, you don't want titanium up against hardened steel because titanium will wear away real quick, and you'll get up and down blade play, or the lock will fail easily or something like that. You want if you're gonna get that type of knife, you know, like a liner lock or a frame lock knife, make sure it has a steel insert or it has steel liners, or the handle's made out of steel or something. Because you want steel against steel. You don't want aluminum against steel. You don't want titanium against steel. You want steel against steel, people. But anyway, this is another knife that I really like. And to me, it's a safe knife. If you unlock it, it doesn't cut you up. All these knives are like that, people. And those are kind of knives I try to recommend to you guys, you know, is that, you know, I try to recommend safe knives. I don't really get it, you know, because there's a lot of fancy knives, and I even got knives in my collection that I just collected just because I like the way they look or whatever. And I didn't really get them because I really wanted to carry them or whatever. I just got them because I like the way they look. You know, I'm being honest. You know, I'm not going to carry the Mayhem. I got that one because I just wanted the Mayhem. I just wanted it. I just wanted it in my collection. I'm a knife nut. I'm a knife addict. Whatever you want to call me. I love blades. And and ever since I first saw the Mayhem, I had to have it. When I first saw it in a blade show, like, was it 2 or 3 years ago or whatever? You know, I've been waiting on that one for a long time. But I'm not going to carry that knife. Let's be honest, you know. Whereas my 5 Max, it's in my bug out bag that I take to work every day. You know, it's in the trunk of my car. So, you know, that one's a worker. You know, I got that one to actually use because, you know, and the reason why it's in my trunk of the car in my bug out bag, because what was in it before was a 4 Max. The 5 Max replaced the 4 Max. Isn't that the way it's supposed to be? But anyway, you know, you got to move on up like the Jeffersons. You got to keep on going forward, people. You know, you got to keep on evolving. I absolutely love, you know, all these cold steels too right here are the original ones. These are the original triad lock, cold steel, Recon 1, large Recon 1s. These are I bought these when they very first came out. That's how old these are. These are the Oz 8 ones. These are the original Tau War and the original Holdout when they first came out. These are Oz 8 ones. I've been carrying them all these years, these exact same knives. And, you know, people always ask me, well, how come I don't carry the other ones? Well, the CTS 6HP ones are like collectors now. You know what I mean? And the new S35EM ones are really expensive. I got the XLs. I got the XLs. But I got the serrated and the plain for the XL. But I didn't get the one this side because I have a lot of these. I have like, I don't know, about three of the Oz 8 ones. This is the only one I ever carried though. The other two never been carried. And I got the CTS 6HP ones, about 2 or 3 of those. But this is the only one I carry. This one is so broken in. It is super smooth. It is perfect. Why would I want to carry any of the others? And to me, you know, for a self-defense folder, you don't need to have a super steel. As a matter of fact, you know, like all the tests and everything that you've ever seen done, you know, in the original demonstration videos from Cold Steel, they were using Oz 8. They were using Oz 8 knives. And I'm sure Oz 8 is a lot tougher than maybe Oz 10, you know, but Oz 10 will hold a better edge because, you know, a little bit more brittle or a little bit harder or whatever. Oz 8 is a lot softer. It'll roll and bend, and, you know, and do things like that. But the Oz 8 is perfect for a self-defense folder. And I think it's perfect for, you know, like an everyday folder if you know how to sharpen your knife. And one thing that Oz 8 did was teach me how to sharpen knives. You know, that's when I got into sharpening knives, when I was carrying the Cold Steel Oz 8s all the time. And you had to keep them sharp and stuff like that. You had to maintain them, otherwise you'd be dull, because they didn't hold the edges very long. But, you know, for a self-defense knife, though, you know, that's perfect. It's perfect for that, though. You know, because I think it's a tough stainless steel. And that's what you want in a fighter. You want a tough stainless steel. That's my opinion, people. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm no expert on the subject. That's just my opinion. It's just, you know, from everything I've seen and read, for a fighting knife, you want a tough knife. You want a knife with tough steel. Tough steel is more important than edge holding in a fighting knife. Because, you know, you can sharpen something, you know, it's going to be able to cut long enough for a fight, right? Think about that. But this one right here, I absolutely love it. But I just want to warn everybody that, you know, be careful with it. If you got big hands and you got meaty hands, sort of. I don't think my hands are like too big and too meaty. But, you know, I think I'm more like in the medium large size. I don't think I'm a big bone person. I'm just like, you know, a regular person that's overweight. But this knife is awesome. It's fun. The Vision FG, the CIVIVI. Absolutely love it, people. But you do got to be careful. If you have it in the wrong position, if you got meaty paws like I do, you will get bit. And that's all I wanted to put out there. It's a beautiful knife. Just beware. It will bite you if you don't respect it. It demands respect. I think if you got smaller hands, though, it won't be a problem. You know, this is about as small as the knife as I want to carry as far as like the handle's concerned. Because I think that what they were trying to do is get the blade to handle ratio really nice. So, you know, it wouldn't look like the blade was like really smaller than the handle. So, you know, I think what they should have did is make this knife a little bit longer. Instead of using, I know CIVIVI only likes to go like the 3.5-inch blades, you know, for like their large knives or whatever. But I think this knife needs to be a 4-inch blade knife. Because if it was a 4-inch blade knife, the handle would be long enough. You know, it'd be like this. You know, where the handle would be sticking off the end of your palm. And so when you fidget with it, it wouldn't mess with you. So, you know, sometimes I think a bigger handle is a little bit better. And I think that's the reason why I like all the knives that I do like, is because the handle sizes are bigger. Like this to me is like a smaller knife. But see, I still have a nice grip. I still have a really nice grip. And these original goat scales, they're way better than the original Engage handles. because everything's rounded off, like, you know, like right around in here, everything's rounded off instead of squared off. So there's no hot spots. And this handle feels really good in the hand. It's like holding an 80-10. I like the way the 80-10s feel too. But this is a really good handle. It feels really good in hand. And I don't know if you guys know, but you know, like with a lot of these coil spring crossbar locks, I'm calling them coil spring because they have the coil spring in the back instead of omega springs. Coil spring crossbar locks. If you hold it like this, there's no way in the world that's going to come unlocked. Because now it's sort of like an 80-15 where by you applying pressure, you know, you're strengthening, you're making the lock stronger. Just a tip, you know, just a thought. And then same thing, especially with like these. Because like when you got the shark fin on the shark lock, the shark fin, this part right here is called the shark fin on the shark lock. When you're holding it in your proper grip, and you put your thumb on thumb rest, there's no way in the world that's going to come unlocked. Nobody ever mentions that. That's the reason why I'm putting it out there. I never hear people mention that. But if you put your finger on this like that, that's like, you know, double locking the blade. If you're worried about, you know, something coming unlocked. This one right here, they could have did the same thing if they would have put like a little ramp or something right here. I know they probably didn't because they wanted to be, you know, super comfortable or whatever, but maybe just raise it a little bit so they'd have some jimping or something that you could actually grip onto. Because if they did that, you'd be able to close it this way too. That's one thing I noticed about the ram lock. I think they ought to put like a raised jimping or something right here. Something that won't feel uncomfortable if you're holding it like this, but just have it raised above here a little bit. And so then you can operate it like this. See what I'm saying? Instead of having to, you know, one thing that's cool about these though, you could just use one thumb. Let me use this one. This one hasn't been carried yet. This is the one I carry all the time. See, it's got the skiffs in it. See the difference, people? They're both the same knife, basically. They're just different styles of the same knife. They use the same size bearings. All these knives are super safe to use and carry. Even this one. Even my SOG. If this log was locked to give out because it's a flipper, the flipper protects your fingers. That's one thing I like about the SOG, you know, the XR lock or the Axis style lock. This one uses Omega springs like an Axis lock, Benchmade Axis lock. So this is a Omega spring crossbar lock. Super fidgety because, you know, it's easy to grip these. And when you're using the Omega springs, I always suggest pulling it from both sides at the same time. Even though you don't have to do it like on this one you can just, you know, do one side. Like a lot of times I just use my thumb. This knife, the ram lock is awesome, people. I think the ram lock is awesome. It's fun to use. You'll never even need to touch the blade. This one doesn't need a hole or a thumb stud. It could just be a solid blade. Maybe put a blood groove in it, you know, to give it a little bit of something, but I'd rather have it just be a solid blade. I like the way this one, that's one of the things I like about the amphibian. It's just a solid blade. And I like these thumb studs. I think the thumb studs are really easy to use. All right, people. Back to this one. You just gotta be aware where you rest it in your palm. You know, find a sweet spot where it can't hit your skin. And then once you do that, it's awesome. This is an awesome one. This is a fun one too, but it's a smaller version of these. All right, people. Peace out. Stiletto. Have a great day.